Welcome to today's video insight. In today's insight I want to talk about default and how to make it visible and seeing. I told you in a previous video that by default we don't see default. So we don't see where things are naturally headed, where the currents are taking us naturally. We need to make this visible. And the question is, how do we see? For that, imagine everything had this exact same color. Everything was brown with the same type of brown. Everything would be invisible suddenly because we don't have contrast. We would just see brownness, the same brownness. And so what does that tell us? That tells us we see by difference. We can see differences. But we need a contrast. Things need to be different. And so how do we see where things are headed? We need to contrast it with something, and we need to make comparisons. That's also what we talked about with life being a resource management game. We have a limited amount of resources, like the processing of our mind, our conscious focus, physical resources and stuff like that. And we want to apply these resources to maximize something, to maximize the quality of our experience and the experience of others we care about. So, first of all, we need to be clear about what leads to more goodness. And we need to compare. And we can do this through experience, through reflecting on past experiences and comparing, or we make scenarios and build a mental scenario, and then we can compare also scenarios with each other, or a scenario with a past experience. So we need these comparisons in order to have contrast. And then we can make things visible and see stuff. And this is how we set the default also, by getting clarity about truth, importance, and goodness. So we need to be clear about what gives us the biggest bang per buck for goodness. And if we see that, then it can get integrated into our mind and into our actions. So to recap a little bit, we see by contrast, we need to see a difference. In order to make default visible, we need to make comparisons. And also what's very important is we need to pay attention to the quality of our experience and prioritize it. So often we have a contrast there. It's really hidden in plain sight often, but the clarity isn't there that this is the thing we want to prioritize, and that the other things in our head, some goals, compare the amount of goodness you would get out of these goals if you achieve them with something different. But then you make it visible, and then you can really compare it. Otherwise it's just moving invisibly in a certain direction. So we need to make comparisons in order for proper resource management and to do the right strategy. That was today's insight. I see you in the next one. Bye bye.